The poet had never deviated the literary spirit in his writing. Though he was a socialist, uh, he was a famous, influential poet, and is followed by uh, a legendary poet actually. Because even now also he is followed by many of the poets, and his poems, his literature, his writing is studied all over the world in different universities. Different kind of research is going on in his writing also. So as a writer also, he was very famous. So being socialist and being poet, though his writing is socialist, but he is a pure hardcore poet. And this could be seen in our poem also, that he has used the vivid images in his poem. We will see. Now let us start reading the first stanza. Far, far from gusty waves, these children's faces, like rootless weeds, the hair torn round their pallor. The tall girl with her weighed down head, the paper seeming boy with rat's eyes, the stunted, unlucky hair of twisted bones, reciting a father's gnarled disease, his lesson from his desk. At back of the dim class, one unnoted, sweet and young. His eyes live in a dream of squirrel game, in tree room other than this. Now this is the first stanza. Now we'll have the detailed explanation of this first stanza. If you see and ask the question that what is there in the first stanza, it's a very simple one, that the poet has described the children in the classroom. Which classroom? The classroom that belongs to the slum. The classroom of the school that belongs to the slum. Now the question is that how it is described, or how the children in this slum classroom are. Dear students, the school, classroom and children, it is said that if you want to see the most beautiful faces or face, go to the children and look at them. There is no as beautiful as the children in the schools. Any child, the happy child. So most beautiful faces around the earth are the faces of the children. But the children described here in this poem, in the first stanza, they are different. They are not like you people. They are not beautiful like you. They are not handsome like you. They are not. Their faces are not as charming as you people. Instead, the poet described their faces pale one. There is an image. Just we were talking about the poet's use of vivid images. So the word pallor he used for the pale faces of the children in the classroom. Pale means when we fall ill, uh, we get our face pale because we lose the charm and life on the face, and it becomes a little white one, a dull one. So the shining on the face that disappears, and that becomes pale one when we fall sick. But in the case of the children in this slum, their faces are always pale. That's unfortunate, but it's true. So that is what he is describing, that pallor. And around their pallor, the poet says, the hairs are torn. Hairs nowadays of the children, if you see how well dressed now, different kind of hairstyles um, you have, and you apply the gel and oil, and your hairs are full of life. Do you believe that the hairs are, you know, living one? They have the life. I don't know. You are the student of science. You can tell me better. So whether the hairs have the life or not. But the hairs of these slum children, they are lifeless, and that is why they are torn around their collar. Just they are spread, just lied as as they were randomly. So they are not uncombed one, undressed one, not applied oil, you know, not applied gel. It's not of question. So the hair torn around their pallor, and how they are torn like rootless weeds. This is another image the poet has used, like rootless weeds. Weeds, students, weeds, unwanted plant, basic plant that we find on the ground, in the farm, and particularly when we are farming, no. So these unwanted plants are uprooted actually. So these weeds are we uproot it because that creates the problem for the agriculture crop. That is why we uproot it. So how the poet beautifully is using the image of weeds, uprooted weeds. Uprooted means unwanted one, waste one, having no utility at all. So there, these childrens also, these slum children also, the poet, the things that the society do not think them, do not recognize them as of any utility. They're best one, like rootless weeds, and that is why they are unwanted in the society. Who wants? Okay. Do you see? Have you ever met a person who wants to say that? Who wants to who would say that uh, the slums are wanted here? No, slums are not wanted. As slums are not wanted, these children are not wanted also by the society. So unwanted one. So like rootless weeds. So there is another image that is used. In this image, there is another figure of speech is used, that is simile. Simile is the comparison of two different objects by using the like and as. So like rootless weeds. So simile is used, and by using the simile, image is also created. Image of something that is waste one, something that is unwanted one. So, like rootless weeds, their hair torn around their pallor. The pale face, another image. The next image the poet has used in the poem is that he is talking about a girl of the girl who is tall one, and her weighed down head. This is also another image. So why do we think that her head is weighed down? Weighed down is weigh something heavy. She feels her head heavy, and that is why it is bent down. Actually, who feels the head heavy? You and me? No, not at all. We don't feel our head heavy, but there are some children uh, that they feel their head heavy because their ill feeding and their malnourishment. When they get the less nutrition, then they cannot keep the balance of their body. Sometimes the body structures that get deforms. So sometimes the weight of the head becomes more. Sometimes some particular part of the body that becomes bigger one or the smaller one or crippled one. So that is why these children cannot balance their body. So is the case with this tall girl also, that her weight is her head is burden, it is heavy, and maybe it is because of the malnourishment, because of its hunger, because of the weakness, physical weakness, and along with this physical weakness, there is also the possibility of having the burden of responsibilities. Maybe this girl is elder in her family, and she has the responsibility to look after her younger brothers and sisters, and she might be working somewhere and just have come to the class, and due to the tiredness that of work, she is exhausted. So different reasons may be there, or maybe she is thinking too much about today's food, today's meal. In the evening or in the afternoon, there is nothing in the house, in the kitchen. and that is why there is nothing to eat, and they have to sleep that day hungry. So from where she will arrange this food, a lot of thoughts may come into the mind of the children in a slum, because there are a lot of problems also. The poverty comes with a lot of problems. The children in the slum, they have to think about their hunger. They have to think about their food. Always, constantly thinking about that, and that is why they are even emotionally exhausted. They are not just only the physically exhausted by doing different kind of hard work. So they are emotionally exhausted. They are physically exhausted, and that is why maybe this tall girl is described as weighed down head. See how beautiful these images are. We shouldn't say beautiful, but the way it is described is wonderful one. The paper seeming, the next image that this poet has used, that the paper seeming boy with rat's eyes. The boy is described as paper seeming. He is so thin, like paper. He seems like paper. That is why the poet is describing paper seeming boy, and that too with rat's eyes. Now, if you see the rat's eyes, no, there are two things that you would note that. Rat's eyes, rat is always scared. And when it comes out of the hole, he is, looking for something, looking for food actually. So, hunger-stricken eyes, ever looking for the food. And at the same time, those eyes or those rats are scared also. Scared of anything. Maybe a cat, maybe the people in the house, or anything. Some predators for a rat. So it is scared and hungry, and the same kind of eyes also you could see with the slum children also. They are always looking for the food. Where they could get the food? See, hunger is the biggest problem. I don't think that there is there is a problem the bigger than the hunger. And hunger is the another name of poverty in the slum area, that people die of hunger. So, very aptly, the poet is describing here the boy so thin with the rat's eyes. With the rat's eyes means with hungry eyes, and with the scary eyes, and looking for the food. There is another child the poet has described in the poem, the twisted bones. He is having the twisted bones, and he is unlucky here of these twisted bones. He has inherited these twisted bones from his parents. So through genes, it has come to him. So his growth is stunted. Stunted bones. Stunted means the growth, when the growth stops, that is stunted one. So the growth of his bones that has been stopped, and he is very unlucky that he has inherited this twisted bones from his fathers. And not only that, he is reciting a father's gnarl disease. Gnarl disease means the kind of brighter disease that he is also reciting. Means he has also inherited the goiter. So these are the children of the slum. See, somebody is having the big head and way down head. Somebody is having the small eyes like rats, in which we see the hunger. And there is another child whose growth is stunted one, who has the twisted bones, who has the goiter. And these are all children, what they are doing, they are reciting along with these diseases, along with his unhealthy status, along with this the malnourishment. They are reciting their lesson from the desk. See how beautifully even the another literary device is used, called pun. Pun, that has the pun is a figure of speech, uh, in which one word expresses two different meanings. So here reciting what? Reciting at one side, reciting the Nal disease, father's Nal disease, and reciting his lesson also. So in this situation, do you think that learning can be possible when you are unhealthy, when your health status is not good one? So do you think that you can learn? I don't think. So that is why uh, that before even education, there are certain other things. Those are very much essential to learn, to have education. The hunger must be fulfilled first, and that is why the poet here is bringing all these things in the poem. So one of the last children, child, he has described here that whom he says that unnoted, sweet and young. Sweet and young, uh, we understand. A boy, okay, having no health problem. There are some boys, there are some children who are having no problem with health, but such kind of children are unnoted. Unnoted here means neglected, not considered, not counted. Not counted, unnoted means unnoticed means who had unnoted or who unnoticed it, or who have neglected them. The poet here is addressing the society. The poet here is addressing the authority, that these slum children are not considered. These slum children are neglected. Okay, the social, we were talking about the socialism now. The socialism believes to give attention to the poor section of the society, the weaker section of the society, and they should be uplifted. They should be taken to the level of other society members. So their living standard should be improved. So their basic needs should be fulfilled. But this section is neglected through this young and sweet boy that is here suggested that these children are neglected by the society, neglected by the authority. They are not looked after. They are not cared. So nobody bothers about them. That is why the poet here is using that single word, unnoted. So one unnoted, sweet and young, and his eyes live in a tree. What a beautiful, line in such a kind of, the entire stanza is describing the pathetic and miserable status of the children. This is the only, uh, expression that is used in the poem, which has the whole. This sweet and young boy lives in dream. His eyes live in dream. He has dreams. He has hopes of whatever. He has one. So what about their dreams? We do have the dreams, but our dreams are different. Our dreams are to be the IITians, to be the medical officers, to be the IAS. There are different dreams. But what could be the dreams of these children? What could be the dreams? Dream, yes, dreams of eating the full of stomach, the full meal. Yes, eating some good food, eating all the three times in the day. You know, we how our food schedule is. We have the breakfast in the morning, we have lunch, we have dinner, and meanwhile, sometime we could also have the snacks. Sometimes even fruits also. So this much we eat in a day. But these children, God knows what do they eat. Whether they could fulfill, they could complete their hunger or not. So that's a big problem for them. Okay, so his eyes live in a dream of squirrels game. Our games are elaborate games. We play cricket, we play table tennis, we play badminton, we have the basketball. So these games are, they can't think of it because they are out of their reach. So squirrels game, some game. desi game, a kind of raw game, squirrel game. So if they cannot go for the games like cricket, badminton, basketball, football, okay, they are very elaborate games. But they have to, sort for the games like such kind of squid game in a tree room. And along with that, the poet also writes other than this. Okay, this could be the possibility that he is thinking of a game, or he might be thinking of something else other than this also. Uh, Maybe the food, about the food, or maybe something else. The poet is trying to give the reason that, or he's suggesting that he is not attentive in the class, he is absent-minded, and in the classroom there is no spirit of learning. So that is why he's lost somewhere. Now the matter can be anything. So this is how the first stanza is described. And how it is described, the first stanza describes the children, the slum children, with their sheer unhealthy status, um, their physical deformity, their stunted growth, and their malnourishment, their diseases, their pale faces. So coming to the first line of the stanza, that their faces are far from gusty waves. So what these gusty waves represents now, gusty waves actually are, when you see the gusty waves now, you could see the full of life, they are full of joy also, and freedom. So nobody can stop them, no? So such a freedom, careless nature, carefree nature. So this is what exactly the children's nature is. How the children are always, uh, jumping and bumping like those gusty waves, full of life, full of joy, full of spirit. Uh, and carefree like gusty waves. So all these things are actually missing from their life, the life of some children. So that is why the poet is saying that their faces, the carefree look on their faces, the spirit of life on their faces, the strength on their faces, the charm on their faces, all these things are missing. So that is why the children's faces are far away from the gusty waves. I think it is clear to you that what the poet has described in the first stanza. Though, let us conclude it in brief. The poet is describing in the first stanza the children in the slum classroom. They are very unhealthy. They have got some diseases that they have inherited from their parents, their forefathers. Uh, they are malnourished one. They have hunger in their eyes. There are some children, those who are having hope also. Children are there, but they are neglected by the society, ignored by the society. Nobody bothers about them. And you know, they are in the classroom. The learning should be happen, but there is no spirit of learning there in the classroom, and that is why they are absent-minded also. So this is what the poet has described in the first stanza. So this was all about the first stanza of this poem. We'll continue the next part of the poem in the next lesson. Till then, you are supposed to complete the homework that is given on your screen. So till then, bye bye. Thank you very much.